start off today's episode, I'm over here by the Guardian farm that I built in the previous episode, and that's because I was having a few problems here where the Guardians were escaping out of this. They were like glitching through the walls into the storage room here, and then I was getting killed by the Guardians when I was staying AFK. So I did a little bit of work trying to fix it. So I added some magma blocks down below there. I also added a few extra tridents, all with impaling 5 on them. So my plan was to try and kill the Guardians faster and see if that stopped them from glitching out, but that didn't work. And I also tried to replace the glass here with some solid blocks, and I tried to see if that would work, but that didn't work either. So I ended up going onto Reddit and I was asking on there to see if anyone knew what the problem was or how to fix it. And a few people said that it's just something to do with the latest update where there's a bit of a lag issue. So mobs are lagging through blocks. So what's happening here is the Guardians are getting stuck above this piston right there. So they're getting stuck in that air block which is there. And then for some reason they're managing to glitch through this stair block here. And I'm not really too sure how it's happening, but yeah, it's just something to do with the latest update. So I'm hoping that the next update fixes that, and then I can come over here and stay AFK without worrying about dying. So as you can see here, 2 of them have managed to lag through the wall, and it's just kind of annoying that when I want to stay AFK overnight, I can't do it because after a while they lag through and then I just get killed. So I can't really use this farm too much at the moment, unfortunately, but hopefully the next update fixes it and then I can come over here and use it as much as I need to. But anyway, for now I'm just going to turn this off and I'm going to head back to the base. So what I want to work on today is another farm. And I've worked on a few farms in the last few episodes, but it's just kind of what you need to do if you want to collect 1 stack of every item. And as you can tell by the thumbnail and the title, it's going to be an iron farm. And I really don't like building iron farms, so I've put it off for quite a while now, but I think it's about time I get on with one. So there's actually quite a few items that I can tick off the checklist today if I make an iron farm. But the main ones I want to do is just the iron here, the iron blocks, the iron ingots, the iron nuggets, and there's also a few over here. So there's buckets, iron doors, iron trapdoors, bars, chains and compasses, just stuff like that, which I should be able to tick off the checklist. And then there's also a few things over here, like the smithing table, I think that takes iron. Blast furnace needs some iron as well. The anvils, the slightly damaged anvils and the very damaged anvils, all of those take some iron. And then the cauldron, of course. So there's actually quite a few items that I need the iron for. So I think it's probably a decent time to start building an iron farm. So I have actually built an iron farm on this world before, but this was just like a quick project that I did in between episodes. And this thing got broke in the 1.16 update, so it no longer spawns iron golems. And when I was building it, I knew that it was going to get broke pretty quickly, so that's why I never made a big deal out of it and I never made an episode on it. And I also never put any time into decorating the place here. It's just a little room with some glass walls and all of the drops come into here. Then I was sorting them out into these chests here, and as you can see it's mostly just wool. It wasn't very efficient at all. I barely got any iron from this thing. It gave like 1 stack of iron every hour and a half or something like that, so it was really inefficient, and I hope the one that I built today is a lot better. So I've already found a place where I want to build this. So this is my villager breeder that I built, I think in episode 1, maybe episode 2, but I was doing some villager breeding over here, and I was taking the villagers over to my villager trading area over here, and I've still not finished this. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to tear this down because I want to move all of my villagers into my base, but for now this is where I do all of my trading. And I've actually got a few decent villagers here, so I've got unbreaking, silk touch, mending, efficiency, and then I've got sharpness and stuff as well. And I've got quite a decent collection of books over here. I stocked up on quite a few of these, and I did use a lot of them, but I've still got a few over here. And then I've also got some armourers and some toolsmiths over here, so I've still got loads of pickaxes and armour and all of this over here as well, which is way more armour than I'm ever going to use. But anyway, on to where I want to build the iron farm. So that's the villager trading area right there. Then the villager breeder is here, and I want to go 100 blocks into that direction, which is going to be over here somewhere, probably about here where this tree is, because you need to be over 100 blocks away from the villager breeder for the iron farm to work. So I want to build it over here somewhere. I might have to go over there, I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to make sure I get the maths right first before I start building this thing. So I'm going to make sure I've got enough space to build this thing. So I'm going to clear some space out and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've finished flattening out the area that I'm going to use here. And I've also marked out the area where the farm's going to go. So this is one chunk here marked out. And I've also been busy getting all of the villages over here. So it's quite simple actually, it didn't take too long. But the villagers spawn over there in the villager breeder and they go through a nether portal, and then I took them, it's like 10 blocks in the nether or something like that. And then they come through this nether portal and then just go into there. So if I've counted right, there should be 20 in there, which is how many I need. And I do have a few spare in the nether just in case I need them. If I go over here, I've also got some materials ready that I'm going to need for the farm. So there's 20 beds, just some building blocks, I won't need this many. And then all of the other stuff, some campfires, some glass signs, half slabs and all of this stuff. And I think I'm just going to get straight on with building this thing here. So it's quite a simple farm to build, it shouldn't take me too long at all. The hardest thing is going to be getting all of the villagers inside the farm, but we'll just do that when we get to it. So you want to start off by marking out a chunk, which I've done here. So this is 18 by 18 if you count all of the blocks I've placed around, but the chunk is the inside bit here. So if I count from this corner to this corner here, it's 16 blocks, and then from this corner to that corner, 16 blocks. And if you don't know how to find a chunk, there's plenty of YouTube tutorials on how to do it. The way I do it is I go to Minecraft Chunk Finder, and then I search for slime chunks, just type in my seed, and then Bedrock Edition, and then you can just like hover over all of the different chunks, and then you can write the coordinates down. Probably the simplest way to do it on Bedrock. So to start off the farm here, I'm going to come to the middle, and it's a 2x2 in the centre right now, and I need to make this into a 3x3. So I'm going to destroy these blocks here, and then this, and then all of the centre blocks as well. So now there's a 3x3 in the centre, and it's not going to be centred completely because obviously it's 16 blocks across, and then it's a 3x3 in the middle here, but it's not really too much of a big deal. Then you just want to place a collection area down. Obviously I'm going to change this later on, but for right now this is where all of the drops are going to go. And then you just want to make sure all of the hoppers are facing into this chest here. So next up you want to count up by 5 blocks. So 4 with glass, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then on the 5th one it's going to be a solid block. And you just want to do this all of the way around. So that's pretty simple, and this is how it should look once you've finished doing that. So next up what you want to do is make this into a 16 by 16 area. So of course you just want to align it with the chunk. So you come out on either side and you go to where the chunk border ends, which is right here. So not over this block but one inwards, and then you just extend this all the way around and make it into a 16 by 16 area. So when you get to the corner like this, you will turn and then you will go the other way for 16 blocks. And the same when you get to that corner, you will turn left and then go that way for 16 blocks. And it should be a 16 by 16 area with the hole in the middle. And once you've finished that, you just want to fill in all of this middle area, apart from the 3x3 right in the centre. So once you've done that, it should look like this here. And then you just want to build a 2 high wall all of the way around the place. So you place 1 block off the edge like that, and then 2 high, and then you just want this to go all of the way around the farm. So once you've done that, you can build the pods for where the villagers are going to go. So if you come to the front of the farm, which is here for me, you can tell by where the chest is. So the chest is facing this way, so this is where the front of the farm is. So you want to go to the right hand side, and then you want to build a little circle like this with a glass block in the middle, and this is where the villagers are going to stand. So you want to build 2 high with glass all the way around, just like this, and you want to do the exact same in this corner over here. And once you've done that, you want to go to the side again and do the exact same in this corner just here. And next up what you want to do is get the villagers in here. So you've got 3 pods here, and this is the front of the farm right here. So if you go to the right hand side, in this pod here, you want to get 8 villagers. In the one opposite over there, you want to get 8 villagers as well, and then in this one here, you want to get 4 villagers. So I've got 20 villagers down there. Hopefully I can just get them in the pods pretty easily. Probably not, because they're villagers and they never want to do what you want them to do. But I'm just going to do a cut here and I'll be back once they're all in place. Okay, so this is actually a lot easier than I was expecting it to be. So how I've been doing this is just putting a minecart down here, and the villagers are getting pushed into this right here. And then I just press the button and the villagers go up. So I've got the 3 different sections up here, and I'm onto the final one here. It's got 6 inside already, and then I've got 2 more to put in here. So the villager goes right to the edge onto these powered rails that aren't powered. So I can just push him over the edge a little bit like this. And when it looks like he's about to fall, then I can just break the minecart and it will fall inside. And I can just come down here and pick the minecart up. So there's 7 inside there now, and I'm just going to get the last one quickly. So just do the same, push him over here till it looks like he's about to fall, then break the minecart, and then that should be all 8 villagers inside there, and 8 villagers inside there, and then the 4 inside there. So as you can see, what I've done with those 2 there is I've just put a glass block over the villagers' heads, just so nothing gets in there and so the villagers don't get out. So I'm just going to quickly break all of these rails and the dirt, and then I'll be back. So next up, what you want to do is come over to the villagers and you want to break the bottom bit of glass. And you want to try and place a bucket of water inside here. But it's actually quite hard to do this, so a bit of an easy way to do it is to break another bit of glass like this. And place a dispenser down, facing into the villagers. And then just put a bucket of water in there. Now if I get a lever and power this dispenser, the water should get dispensed out, and then I can just put the glass back like that. And then if I break the dispenser, and then just put another bit of glass right there. So now all of the villagers are bouncing about in some water, and that means once I've placed the workstations here, the villagers can't unlink to the workstations. So that's why you need the water at the villagers' feet. And I actually just hit a villager by accident there. So I'm quickly just going to do this for the other 2 sets of villagers, and then I'll be back. So the next step is to put the beds down for the villagers. So you come to the middle here where the 3x3 is, and you want to count up by 3 blocks, so 1, 2, 3. And then you just want to make a little ring around the middle of the 3x3 here. So once you've made the ring around the outside like this, you just want to make this 2 wide all the way around. So once you've done that, it should look just like this here, and then you can start placing down the beds. So if you come to the front of the farm, which is on this side for me, of course this is the way that the chest is facing down below, and you just want to jump up and place a bed, and as you can see one of the villagers has linked to it, and it's one of the villagers in there. Doesn't really matter which one links to it, but I've got a different colour bed, and that's just to show where the centre of the village is. So all of the other beds are white, and I'm just going to place all of these down, and I should see some green particles every single time I place a bed. So this is how you want to place the beds here. You want to place 7 across this side, and then 7 across this side, and you've got 3 spaces here to place 3 along each side here as well. And like I said, you got to make sure that you see the green particles every single time you place a bed. And if you don't see them, you can just break the bed and then replace it, and then you should see them the second time, just like that there. And then this is all of the beds placed. So now you can just go below and then break all of these blocks that you placed the beds on. So next up, what you want to do is go and get 20 workstations, and there's only certain workstations at work here, so I don't actually remember which ones work right now. So what I'm going to do is write it down in the description, all of the workstations that you can use for this farm. So what you want to do is come over to this corner here so you can see all of the villagers, and you want to place down the workstation, and you want to see who gets the particles. So it's that guy over there. So I'm going to get my axe quickly, then I'm going to break this workstation. Then if I go over here, I can break any of these glass blocks here at the side, and then place a workstation down, and that guy should link back to it, just like that. And I think I might have hit him again there. I don't know how I keep hitting these through the glass. And then you just want to come back to this corner over here and do the same again. See who gets the particles, and it's someone over there yet again. So I'm going to come over here, break a bit of glass, and then place the workstation down, and you can see that he links to it again. So I'm just going to keep doing that 20 times until all of these villagers have a workstation. So next up, what you want to do is come to each of the villager pods, and you want to place a solid block in the corner of each here, and then you want to place a bit of glass over each of the workstations, and then you just want to place some half slabs on the solid blocks there. So you want to do this to the other two as well. And you also want to go around the outside of the farm here and place half slabs all the way around like this. And that's just so nothing spawns up there, no iron golems can spawn up there and get stuck. And also no other mobs can spawn up here and get to the villagers somehow. So the next step is to work on the killing chamber here. So I'm at the front of the farm here. I'm just going to come over here and place a sign on this block right here. I'm also going to place a sign above there, and then two signs coming off of this like this. And then I'm going to go down to each side and place 3 signs like there, there, and then there. And then just do the exact same on the other side. So it should look just like this. And this will stop all of the water going down into the lava that I'm going to put down there in a second. But first I'm going to get all of the water in place up here. So I'm going to start off by coming to this corner here where there's no villagers, and I'm going to place a solid block, then put a water source on top of that solid block. Then I'm going to count along by 1 block, so miss this block here and place a water source there. And then you can place a water source there as well, but I'm going to skip one again and place it there, and this way I've got an infinite water source, so I can just place water all of the way down here. And you do want to place the water right in the corners here. But if you come back over to this corner right here, you want to miss this block again and then place water on one along, and then just go all the way along this wall. And for these 2 walls here, you can just place a water source on every single block if you want to. So that's the first layer of the farm done here. But before I get to the second layer, I'm going to head down here and sort out the killing chamber. So if I just break in here, all of the cats are going to get out, and I'll go and kill them in a minute. But what I'm going to do is place 9 signs at head height. So place 3 along this side like this, and then 3 along the middle, and then just 3 along this side right here. So now if I place a lava block just above like this, it should spread out all along, and then when the iron golems fall down, the head will be in the lava, and then they should die, and their drops will go into the chest right here. So next up, I've just placed some campfires down here, and this is just so that when the cats fall down and they don't die to the lava, they will get killed by the campfires instead. And I think I am going to change this later on to magma blocks, but for right now it's easier just to put campfires there. So this is pretty much the farm done here. But you need to add another layer before it's completely finished. So to do this, you just come on top of the beds, and you want to place a ring around the middle circle again. You can see there's actually iron golem spawning in here already. I think that's the 3rd one that I've seen fall down there. So you just want to make this into a 16 by 16, just like you did with the first layer. So you want to come out all the way to the edge here, and then go along to the corners, and then just make this into a 16 by 16 square. So once you've got the 16 by 16 down here, you want to make a 2 high wall all of the way around the outside, just like you did down below there. And then you just want to put some half slabs on here, just to make sure nothing spawns up here. And to finish off the farm, all you want to do is put some signs here, just like you did down below. So put 1 on there, with 1 above, and then 2 coming off like this. And then you want to put 3 signs on each side like this, and 3 signs on the other side as well. And then the last step is just to put the water in place. So you place a solid block in each of the corners. So then you can just get the water in place by placing some water on top of the corner block. Then you want to skip along by 1 block, so don't place any there, and place them on this block, and then you can place them on this block. And you just want to go all of the way along, but make sure you don't place any on this block right here. And then you can just do this all of the way around, making sure to skip this block. So that's the farm completely finished now. As you can see, the iron golem spawning in there. And I thought this was going to take a lot longer than it actually took. So I spent about an hour earlier on getting all of the villagers from over there to here. It wasn't too bad really, and then the farm overall itself only took about 45 minutes to build, and that includes getting the villagers from there into the farm. And as you can see, the rates seem pretty efficient here. In about a minute or less there's been 3 golems that spawned in, and that's just on the top layer here. So I'm going to jump down below and see how much iron I've got in here. So I've already got over a stack, and that's in about 10 minutes of building the upper layer. So it's going to be even more efficient now that the upper layer is completely finished. So I think what I'm going to do is just dig down here by a couple of blocks, and I'm going to stay AFK for an hour, and then I'm going to come back and see how many iron ingots we can get in a full hour. Okay, so I've dug down a few blocks here and I've emptied out the chest completely. So I'm just going to cover myself up here so nothing can get in. And then I'm going to come back in 1 hour and I'm going to see what kind of rates this farm produces. Okay, so it's been exactly 1 hour now, so I'm just going to open this chest and see how much iron we've got here. So I'm going to put it all down at the bottom and count it. So that's 6 stacks and 45 overall, which is 429 I think overall. So I know iron farms got a big buff in the Nether update a while ago, but this is the first iron farm that I've built since then, and usually the farms I was building were getting about 1 stack of iron an hour, sometimes quite a bit less than that, like 32 iron an hour. So to get so much iron in just an hour session is actually ridiculously good. And obviously there's still a lot more work I need to do on this thing. I need to do something on the outside, and I also need to have a better storage room. But for now what I'm going to do is just clear up a few things over here, and I'm going to head back over to the base. Okay, so next up what I'm going to do in this episode isn't really the most interesting thing ever, but I'm going to have to do things like this eventually, so I'm just going to get on with it. So if you go to this chest here, I've just named it random blocks. And if you go inside, of course it's just full of random blocks that I didn't really know where to put, so I put them all in the same chest here. And if I go through here, there's mycelium and then all of the different mushroom blocks, which I still haven't collected any of yet in this series because I haven't found a mushroom biome yet. So what I'm going to do is just quickly head over to the nearest mushroom biome, which I don't actually know where it is because I've travelled about 5,000 blocks in each direction and I've never found one before, so I'm guessing it's quite far away wherever the nearest one is. But I'm just going to head over there and I'm going to collect at least a stack of each of these items here. But before I do that, I've actually got another item I can tick off the checklist here. So over in the plants chest, I've now got a stack of poppies, so I can just put the stack in there. So there we go, that's a stack of poppies and another item checked off the checklist. So like I said, I'm just going to quickly find out where the nearest mycelium biome is, and then I'm going to head over there and collect all of the different materials. So that didn't take too long, and now I can come in here and place the items in the chest and take them off the checklist. So first of all there's mycelium, which goes up there, and then the red mushroom, which goes there, the brown mushroom next, which can go there, and then the mushroom stem. So that's another 4 items, or 4 stacks of items ticked off the checklist. There's still quite a long way to go in this chest though. I still need some blue ice and ice. The slime blocks, honey blocks, honeycomb, hay bales. Yeah, there's still quite a long way to go. And then I need the walls down at the bottom, but those should be quite easy to get. Okay, so back over to the iron farm. I've done a little bit of decorating around here. And as you can see, I've used the blackstone and the quartz, as well as a little bit of iron over on this side. And it's only a small room, I didn't want to go too overkill with how many chests there were here. So there's 15 on this side, and this is where the iron comes in. And then there's 15 on this side, and this is probably where I'm going to be storing the iron blocks. I've also synced up a nether portal here, so that just means that I don't need to see the farm above. I do think I might come back one day and work on like disguising the farm a little bit up there. Maybe add some trees around there or a building or something like that, just to make it fit in with the jungle. So if I head behind here, I can show you what's going on. So I've got some magma blocks underneath the carpets here. I needed to put the carpets because the magma blocks kept setting on fire because of the lava. And then I've got some minecart hoppers underneath the magma blocks. And then they all lead into a hopper. And then all of the items get filtered into this dropper right here. And there's a dropper clock around the back, so any items that get put into that dropper there will get shot out into this water stream. And then there's a few item filters here. So the first one is for iron, so all of the iron will go in there and then up into the water stream and into the storage room. And then the next two are for roses and for string, so all of the roses and the string will get filtered out here, go into this chest, and then get filtered into this dropper and go into the lava, as you can see here. So they should get sucked up and then you'll see them get shot out into the lava. So I just don't really need any more string. It doesn't really produce much string anyway, and I definitely don't need any roses, so I just fire all that into lava. And any items that don't get picked up by the hoppers will go back into this water stream up there out of the dropper, and then they'll just keep going round in a circle until they do get picked up. So there's only 3 items that can get filtered here, and there's only 3 items that the farm produces. So eventually they should go around and then get picked up by one of the hoppers. And I actually stayed here AFK overnight, and I managed to get almost a full double chest of iron. So this should last me quite a while, but I am going to come and stay AFK a few more times just to get stocked up, and then hopefully I can have enough to last me the full season. But anyway, what I'm going to do now is head back to the base, and I'm going to craft up a few items that I can put into the storage room and check off the checklist. Okay, so I've crafted up a few items here. This isn't all of the iron items that I could craft, but I want to save some of the iron for now. So these are all of the ones that I did craft. So I'll start off with the anvil and the cauldron, which both go in the workstations chest over here. So I've got 63 of each because I've already got one in the chest. And I still need to do the slightly damaged anvil and the very damaged anvil, but I'll get onto that in another day. So next up, the iron blocks, the iron ingots and the iron nuggets. And these all go in this chest over here where the ores are. So again, I've already got one of each, so I'll put another 63 of each in, and then that's those checked off as well. So next up, the iron trapdoor, the iron bars, the iron door, and then the chains. And these all go into this iron and wood chest here. So again, I've already got one of each in there, so I'll put 63 more. That's another 4 items checked off the checklist. And finally, the hopper and the weighted pressure plate, both of these go into the redstone chest up here. So I'll shove both of these in there. And that's another 2 items checked off. So I'm going to be ending the episode here. I'm quite happy with how the iron farm turned out, and I'm going to have plenty of iron for the rest of the series. And that's going to help me check off quite a few more items in the checklist area here. And I think in the next episode I'm going to be trading with some villagers. And I actually want to move all of the villagers from over where the villager breeder area is and bring them into the base somewhere. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to try and get all of these book trades. So there is a lot that I still need. I've named all these pieces of paper for the books that I need, and I'm hoping I can get a few of these chests here checked off the checklist as well. But that's going to mean a lot of trading and a lot of breeding villagers, so that's going to be quite a pain, but that's what I want to do in the next episode. But anyway, that is where I'm going to be ending today's episode, so I hope everyone enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.